Whether you like it or not, reactions are important in life. Reactions to whatever happens to you. So a few months ago, I was in Gwalior, my hometown, in Madhya Pradesh. A friend of mine, he's an IPS, and he was posted in a place called Morena. I don't know how many of you have heard of Morena, but it's a place approximately 40 kilometers from Gwalior. It was his first posting, I think, or second. He came to my place for dinner, and I asked him a very rudimentary question. Why did you write the UPSC in the first place? And his response was, yeah, I was sick and tired of being a commoner. And I loved his honesty. He did not talk about bringing difference, making change. And why? If all the IAS officers truly wanted to bring change or large-scale impact, Bihar would have been 1,000 times better than New York or Boston. So he said, I was sick and tired of being powerless. My mother was being operated for some surgery in hospital in Delhi, and he could not even get appointments with doctors. As a common man, he could not even find place in AIMS. And it was back then that I realized that I can't survive like this in India. Either I get into the civil services or I leave India. So the reason why my friend wrote civil services was reactionary. The way he was treated as a common man in Indian society. That's harsh truth. We can come up with any flowery language, but common man, sadly, is not treated very well. Even the actions of a party named after Aam Admi, their actions are not like a common man. The bungalows, the parties. Hundreds of years ago, revolutionary activities and the foundations of revolutionary organizations was also reactionary. British government's attitude was similar to the attitude of doctors who were treating my friend's mother. But of course, British were one step ahead. British used oppressive measures, the violent crackdowns, merciless beating of non-violent protesters, press censorship, arresting of leaders. So the first phase of revolutionary activities was a reaction of heightened British injustices. If anyone was to be called a terrorist, those should be the British. Not Veer Savarkar or Ganesh Savarkar or Sachin Sanyal or Bhagat Singh. Why? Just look at the definition of terrorists. Terrorist is a person who uses unlawful violence, especially against the civilians. Why? In pursuit of their objectives. Those objectives could be of any kind. It is not Bhagat Singh who killed civilians in the second half of revolutionary activities, but it is the British government that systematically killed civilians. 90 lakh died because of artificially orchestrated famines in India, across Bengal. Millions died during a random war happening with dynasties of Europe. And even today we call them as world wars. Were China, India, Indonesia, Australia, were they directly involved in those world wars? What was so worldly about those wars? Because some of the world's biggest idiots thought it's good to fight, use chemical weapons, kill each other. That's what happened. Jallianwala Bagh massacre, how can we forget that? I don't know how an arrogant British general could convince his soul that it is ethical to kill women and children celebrating Baisakhi. Non-violent, peaceful protesters were killed. And then we have Rudyard Kipling telling us about the burden white-colored skin people have to civilize the world. It's ludicrous that some of our historians have the courage to term Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, Veer Savarkar, Sachin Sanyal as revolutionary terrorists. They were nationalists, not terrorists. The same historians have also mindlessly called Curzon, Hastings, Dalhousie as lords or fathers of modern India. What kind of slaves are we if we do not even question the casual use and misuse of these terms? These terms, such as terrorists, lords, they have emotional value. And I hope you realize this. And perhaps share this thought with your friends, your kids, your family. But now the question is, what led to the eventual failure of this phase of revolutionary terrorism?